I'm very thrilled to be at this conference today. I've tried to pronounce Sparsci versi si Planificare Urbana, so trying to catch up a few words. But now we're going to the southwest of Germany, to the city I'm living in and working for, the city of Stuttgart. You can see a bit of our inner city here in the Valley Basin, so just for you to get a feeling of the size, we're a bit smaller than Athens, Copenhagen or Łódź, we're a bit larger than Dublin, Lisbon or Riga, but we've got a pretty large metro region in conurbation. So the inner conurbation is almost 3 million, the metro region is more than 4 million. And as we just heard, it's a city of cars. It's the cradle of cars. It's where Gottlieb Daimler invented the car. But we go back a bit further, know your history. So again, on the right side, we see where Brașov is, where Stuttgart is. And it was the Hungarians that are the reason why this city was built. Why? Because around 950, Hungarian horsemen, horseback warriors, pushed into Western Europe, and the medieval German Empire didn't have anything against that. So horse breeding farms, studs, had to be founded, and one of them was founded here. And that's also the name Stuttgart, Stuttengarten, mare garden. Mare is female horse. So that's where it's from, and you see the horse, that's also in the coat of arms, which is also in the signet of both Porsche and Ferrari. It's not a male horse, it's a female horse. More interestingly enough, it was founded in this side valley, in this valley basin, which was good for green meadows, and eventually there was a fortress, then a town, which eventually grew to a medieval city. And you shouldn't build a city in a small valley basin on the side like that. Not if it turns to be a big city. So this city, a lot of people know it from industry, Mercedes, Porsche, Bosch, etc. But it's also a city of dance, a city of hip-hop, a city of a lot of tunnels, a city of derivative stock exchange, of a cog railway. That's my personal favorite one on the right-hand side, with a mobile bike stand, so you can cycle downhill and then go up with the cog railway, the tram. So we're looking now into, now I've got the same problem. Let's try it again. There we go. Okay. So on the right-hand side, we see chlorophyll. That's where the green is coming from. But there's a lot of places where you can put it in a city, and we'll have a quick look why we do it, what are the reasons, where can we put it, and what are also the options for the future. So we need green for climate protection, in protection from heating and overheating. We need it for quality of life, and we need it for biodiversity and natural resources. Again, you see on the right-hand side this valley basin right in the middle, and moving on in the center, you see we had, before the turn of the century, we had 30 heat days in the city, and the projection for the middle of this century we're gonna double it. And if you've got this geographical position like that, you really have to watch out for the air channel, the cold and cool air that's flowing down from the hills at night, cooling down the city. Because if you close those air channels, then you get really, really hot Julys, Junes, August, etc. And the heat is not going to go away, and everybody's going to buy air conditioning and blowing out even more hot air. So you will barely find any new high-rises in the city center, and we're doing a lot of planning how to tackle it and make sure the cold air can actually flow in. Thinking about stormwater and rainwater, we have had a big project on a sponge city, so the ground sucking up water, and we'll see an example for that later on. This street is right in front of my office. The trees, of course, have been there for a long time, but until 2 years ago was full of cars. This is a bicycle street, and we didn't even completely rebuild it. We just chucked out all the parking spaces, apart from disabled parking, and put in bike stands, benches, mobile trees, in tree planters, etc., etc. And I agree with my head of department for public streetscape, etc., that it looks so nice we don't even have to change it, at least not in the next 10 years. Again, that's our vocabulary. So what you can do if you still have a tram, which we have, you can have green rail tracks. Green roofs is a big topic. We only have green roofs. The problem for us is how can we combine green roofs and photovoltaics? But we've got a solution for that. And if you look at what we wish we had ideally, then this is pretty much what we'd like to have. But if you talk to any civil engineer in any town, not only in Europe but elsewhere in the world, they will always complain there's so much stuff in the ground. So we've got pipes, we've got fiber optics, communication, etc. That it's always hard in an existing streetscape to actually get that far. So you can do that if you build up a street completely from scratch. So we try to put everything into strategic planning. So you can also see the word albedo. That means what color does a surface have and how much can it reflect sunlight. So if you've got dark asphalt, then it's gonna take up much more heat from the sun than if it's like light gray or something like that. So on the left-hand side, you can see a little bus stop shelter, a bus shelter that's got a green back. So that's also something we are experimenting at the moment, if this could be a solution for the public space. But I can also show you a really cool project that isn't a solution at all. This is a new project that has a completely green facade, but it's not rooted in the earth. So this, we were talking about where's our drinking water from. This just needs a lot of drinking water in the summertime, and that's not sustainable, taking out water from, in our case, the Lake of Constance, and pumping it 100 kilometers north to have a green facade like this. So we also have to try out new things and then say, well, this is not really the solution for the future. We've seen in any city, I also have seen it for Brașov, like our market squares were parking spots, so we are trying to push out cars from the inner city and redesign the streetscape. I could show you quite a number of examples, but just if you see on the little photo, black and white on the left-hand side showed how much the city was damaged during the bombing nights of the Second World War. But my predecessors even did more harm to the city by hacking through huge streets like the one we can see through the medieval structure to have a car-friendly city in the 60s. And now we're really fighting to push it back, and this is a project of one generation at least. So 4.5 kilometers through the city, and it's all going to be a narrow streetscape with ramblers, with avenues, so a lot of street trees, much more quality, less cars. It's going to be like a huge thing. We're also looking at our river because our city center is not right by the river, but about 4 kilometers away. So the river up until a few years ago was just a highway for boats. And now we're rediscovering the river strand, so we're at the moment projecting quite a number of projects there. One is going to start after summer. We're also thinking about converting a railway bridge, which we won't need anymore, into a living bridge. If we build new neighborhoods and we don't have greenfield developments, we have brownfield developments, meaning we'll get a lot of rail tracks because we are putting all our rail tracks underground in the city. So we are lucky we can have brownfield development. We're going to have a huge new district within the city. And this is going to be quite green. This is going to have a huge park and the rail arc park. So you've got some impressions here. Also other projects. And just to finish off, on the lower left side, you can see our first sponge park, which actually can fill with water, and there's even more pipes underneath to be filled with storm water. So normally it's nice to go for a walk, for kids to play, but if you've got a heavy storm, it can all suck up a lot of water, and give it back slowly afterwards. So that's the sponge city principle. And I just have to encourage everybody who's working for a city, wherever in the world, whatever your resources are, whatever your funding is, you can do so much and do it. It makes the city much more livable. Thank you very much.